So everybody, this is going to be a little bit of a two-part. You're going to see a couple different products in here. The first one is the massive strut bar, which I decided not to go with because of the alignment, which I will explain to you more later. And the second is going to be the actual product, which is the TB Performance Sway Bar, which is adjustable. So I'm going to take you to the first set of video that I shot, which is removing everything. And then what you will see afterwards, which I will notify you, is when I switch to actually installing the proper sway bar link that I decided to go with. What I've already started doing was I took off the vent cover, all right? All this is you just grab from the back, there's a lip, you lift it off, it unclips, and then same thing on the front, lift, and it clips off. What you are going to need is, tool-wise, you're going to need your T30 Torx bit for the screw here on the front corner, and on the passenger side front corner, you're also going to need a 15mm socket for your windshield wiper bolts, because you're going to have to take off your windshield wiper. And there's going to be another 10mm socket on the interior corners in order for you to lift and remove the cowl and open up this area.
So right here behind the cowl is your 10mm. Like I said, there's going to be a 15mm, and then here is your T30. Two more bolts. I want to say maybe an 8mm. So right down here, we got one, we got two. All right, so now that's loose, and she's just able to slide right out. Now I want to tell you, keep in mind, you have your wires that run to what it looks like for your dampening control. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So you got your dampening control wires that are running through. This one runs underneath. And this one runs through. We got some. All right, so we're gonna have to disconnect these. So we're gonna have to disconnect the dampening wires so that we can siphon it through. See how they come out, because it looks very simple at first, but it's slightly deceiving. So right here we have the wire, so it connects. This little piece right here is where you want to pry up. If you go up here, you're not going to do anything but mess around with the upper connection piece. So that's not where you want to pull. You want to pry at this lower piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and clean up this area so it's nice and pretty and whatnot. And then after that, I'll bring you guys back to put in the strut tower brace. All right, guys. So what you're going to get is you're going to get your, basically it's like an adjustable tie rod end, almost, with like a pivot ball on the inside. And then it's going to have these nuts. It's also going to come with a lock washer. So on each side,
your lock washer, and then you're gonna thread that in place. All right. So what's gonna happen is, you know what? Let me grease this up first. So, like I mentioned, this system is adjustable. They also make a undercar differential, like cage or protector, and that's about, I think, like $250. They did not have any available on eBay, so I got it straight from the website. So I will put a link for the website down in the description. Like I said, this one is specifically for the Ford Focus RS. I do not know if the STs use the opposing wipers or not, but because of the fact that they're mounted separately, you need to get this one in order to make sure you properly have this stuff mounted. All right, so I'll zoom you in as best I can. So right now, your post is going to be towards the inside, so that should be obvious. All right, so post to the inside, and then your mounting bracket for your wiper is going to fall right behind. So now I'm going to get so then you're going to need your 10mm nut that came with the kit, and then your wiper motor bolt. I'm going to leave this with a little bit of play in there. Keep in mind that you have to sit your foot plate over top and siphon your dampening wire through. All right, so next step, I had a small heart palpitation because I thought I lost one of the bolts for the wiper motor, but I found it. So so now the next part, let me. So now we got everything mounted. The foot plates are mounted. They're not fully bolted down, but they are. Everything is routed. The wires are routed through, and everything is initially set up. So now we're going to set these up the way we want it. So obviously you want to get this facing forward. Just keep in mind that it says that the acoustic cover will not be going on. So that little under shield won't be going back on. So we got this. So then now, all right, so getting this in, what you want to do is you want to get either the front, not obviously they're both in the front. You want to get either the driver or the passenger side foot plate mounted first. Then what you want to do is you want to get the pivot point onto the stud and then swing it over and in place, and then start bolting things down. Because once this is on, you have no room to adjust it. So now you see we're in place. So normally this is where the acoustic tray would go. So that's going to be gone. That's finito. So my assumption is so you're going to adjust this kind of like a tie rod end, where this nut will push or pull either way. So now what we want to try and do is back off this nut and then spin it out to try and get it centered as best as possible, aka like aligned. So what we do have though is, so we got these pivot points right here as these nuts, and then what I'll be able to do is with an adjustable wrench,
crack that loose and then back this off. All right, guys. So that probably took me about a good, maybe like half hour just to dial this in. The biggest issue I had was measuring the distance of the pivot arm that I wanted out from each end. And then from there, right, so before I go too far, measuring out the distance of the adjustable arm so that I can get the wiper motor bolted down the right way so that it wasn't pulling too far away from the mounting holes. Because you got to remember, when it comes time to do your struts, these 3 bolts are going to be what holds your top hat in place, the strut mount. So you want this set up where basically it's lift and just replace, where there's minimal to no movement of this. Like, there is going to be a little bit of movement, but as long as you do it one side at a time, it shouldn't be an issue. Then the next part is which I got one of these little nifty kind of quick levels, and I zip tied it up against the bar. And then as soon as I hit level, that's when I tightened it down. And like I mentioned before, it's very similar to a front wheel alignment. You got to get it slightly higher than what you want, because then as you tighten it down, that bubble is going to shift, and then you should be aligned to where you want. So if you have experience doing alignments with tie rod ends and stuff, then you should be okay with that. But that's a nice little trick to use to get this aligned. Also, you don't want this to go too high up, because I have about maybe a 1/16 of an inch at my lowest point here, and probably about maybe 2 or 3/16 of an inch over here from the bottom of the windshield. And then I also have I wanted a good amount of space as I wasn't pushing on my brake fluid reservoir. All right, guys, so that's it. In the next couple of weeks, I will be doing a review to see how this handles, if I have to adjust it, whatever may have you. Again, I will put the link down in the description. Hopefully this guys helped you out. You guys liked it. Comment, like, subscribe. If it's the first time to your channel, make sure you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any more of me and Joe's future episodes. If there's anything else that you have questions about regarding the RS or Joe's new mini R53 or R51, one of those two, it's supercharged. That's all that matters. Let us know. Check out some of our other videos. And as always, wrench daily.